And we are live on the Paranormal News with your host, Max Power. Woo! All right, this week on the Paranormal News, this is interesting. First, we have a Pentagon report saying that a UFO people saw recently is real. And when they say this, they're saying it is unidentified. It's an unidentified flying object. They're not saying it's aliens. They're saying it's an unidentified flying object, right? So, all right, the Pentagon Department Defense Department has confirmed that leaked photos and videos from unidentified aerial phenomenon, that's a UAP, taken in 2019 are indeed legitimate images of unexplained objects. So they agreed that indeed it's unexplained. We agree it's something. It's not a weather balloon, at least, right? Photos and videos of triangle-shaped objects blinking and moving through the clouds were taken by Navy personnel. Pentagon spokeswoman Sue Gao said in a statement. She also confirmed that photos of three unidentified flying objects, one sphere-shaped, another acorn-shaped, and one characterized by a metallic blimp, were also taken by Navy personnel. Those aliens love their shapes, don't they? Remember, like Close Encounters of the Third Kind? That was one of the things that all these, they did their research for that movie. I mean, all these shapes, like ice cream cone shape and all these things were kind of flying about. What do you think that's all about, man? Like maybe some Flintstones vitamins, like Dino the Dinosaur or something. I don't know. What do you think that's all about, the shapes? Or is it geometric shapes? Or geometric shapes have something to do with quantum tunneling, time travel, moving one place to the other, instantaneously type of thing? I don't know. We may find out one day. So, now, all right. All right. She said, as we said before, to maintain operation security to avoid disclosing information that may be useful to potential adversaries, DoD, Department of Defense, does not discuss publicly the details of either the observations or examinations of reported incursions into our training ranges or designated airspace, including those incursions initially designed as a UAP. Gao said. She also said that Unidentified Aerial Phenomenon Task Force was created in August to investigate UFO sightings observed by the military, and they have included these incidents in their ongoing examinations. So you have weird shaped stuff flying into training areas of the military, and nothing they could do about it. They don't know what it is, how it is, why it's there. It's just there. Right? So the Navy photos and videos were published by Mystery Wire. You gotta love them, man. You gotta love the people that want to bring information to you that's pertinent to the rest of civilization. You know, this isn't someone's dirty laundry. This is something that's bigger than that, and something that has something to do with every being on this planet, really, right? And things that we should know. So okay. Let's see. There have been a number of reports of unauthorized and or unidentified aircraft entering various military-controlled ranges and designated airspace in recent years. The Navy said in 2019, last year, the Pentagon released 3 videos showing unidentified aerial phenomenon clips as U.S. Navy had previously confirmed were real. Yeah, they were chasing them down. So, what do you think of all this? I know what you UFO people think of it. You think that this is just kind of like, you know, it's basically a tease, isn't it? It's basically you're the general on the base with all the fruit salad. all the big, medals of this and victory and honor and courage, and you did it all, man. You know, got more brass on your boob than anybody can even imagine. Here you are, mystery program, Skunk Works. You got the fastest, the best. You know what goes on. I mean, these are our DARPA projects, advanced research, and all of this stuff. You know, and then here comes this ice cream cone, and it just floated into your area and kind of hung out and changed colors, and here comes a pyramid and some other stuff. Whoop whoop whoop! It's gone. All of a sudden, that brass doesn't seem too brassy, man. All of a sudden that big military might and the skunk works and all the things that you think you are don't seem too big and powerful. It seems like something can just kind of slip right through. So I think there's a contact going on where there's going to be a major announcement. It's already to the point where the military can't deny stuff anymore. The stuff is so blatantly real and in your face. Even the people that say, "Oh, I don't believe in UFOs," even the military is on the media for getting out of the mentality of closed-mindedness, like they can, as if. Have you ever watched the media? And this is the military telling the media to open up. All right, suckers. We're going to talk about Baker Mayfield. you know Baker Mayfield. He had nothing to do with UFOs. He is he's a football player. Right? Baker Mayfield, to stick it to his story, and he's got the United States government backing him up. Mayfield insists that he and his wife Emily saw a UFO last month while out to dinner in Texas following the Pentagon's declaration that recent photos and videos of UFOs are real, and the Cleveland Browns quarterback feels validated. You know, it's nice when you're not the only one. It's nice. It's nice when there's somebody next to you like, yeah, I saw it too. I know what that is. And then you have got the goddamn military coming out and saying, yep, there's something up there. We don't know what the hell it is. No matter how many billions we spend on stuff, we don't know shit. We just know that they fly in our airspace and violate us whenever they want, however they want. Here and gone, right? Okay, so Mayfield says, what does he say? I'm a firm believer in UFOs and Sasquatch. Mayfield said, did that just lose you right there? Did it lose you when he said Sasquatch? I wish people would just kind of compartmentalize their paranormal, man. Believe in UFOs because we've got some science to back it up. The Sasquatch, I don't know. You know what I mean? The jury's out on the Sasquatch. I'm not saying they don't exist. I'm a person. First of all, I host a paranormal news channel, right? News show. Second of all, I have another paranormal show, right? Third of all, I'm on other paranormal shows. I'm not going to be the one to say, oh, it doesn't exist. I believe that unless you can prove something doesn't exist, and I mean prove it, then it's plausible that it could be. It could be, right? I'm sitting right now close to a lake where there's a monster inside of it that people had seen for 150 some 200 years, right? Even one time they ran it down with a ship. This thing was surging through the water and swimming as fast as it could to get away from them, and they went and ran the thing down. That's humans, right? Whatever you don't understand, you gotta destroy it. And then people said it for years, oh, it's nothing. It couldn't be nothing. It's people's imagination, or it's a tree trunk or something like that, or something else. It's a big eel or whatever, man. No. And then same thing for like Lake Champlain, or Loch Ness. You have the same type of creature. Always the same type of creature in all these places. So then people say didn't believe. A few years ago, because the polar ice caps are melting and everything, this large creature was unearthed, full bodied, because it was encased in the ice. Aquatic creature, very huge, dinosaur looking, very huge, long, long, long neck. They say it could swim very easily. So, and that was found not that far away from where these Great Lakes are and everything. Why is it hard to understand that something like that could exist in lakes that are, these lakes are 500-600 feet deep? You know, it's not like they have, a camera every 10 feet down there looking around. I mean, plus you have an unbelievable amount of life down there, fish, sturgeon, whatever, man, like large fish. You got all kinds of stuff. So, and eels, right? So why is it hard to believe? I don't, and I've actually got a picture of what someone took back in the day of this thing surfacing, and it's not a hose. It's not, it's not a tree trunk. Come on. All right. So this guy Mayfield believes in Sasquatch. All right, man. All right, dude. I'm glad you do. He said it's real. I saw it. I'm glad the Navy finally confirmed some more pictures. Now everybody doesn't think I'm crazy. Oh! Never X-lay on the crazy cray. That's the last thing you want to do. Paranormal people are trying to push themselves out there enough to legitimize the paranormal world. Then you have the other part of the paranormal world, or are the people that, the freaks. There's freaks. There's a lot of freaks. And they claim some freaky stuff, and the paranormal world gives them like a whole truckload of crutches to use to prop themselves up on their freakiness, blaming it on something else when really maybe their house isn't haunted. Maybe they're just talking to themselves. Do you ever think of that? Mayfield saw a UFO in Texas. That was a big headline. So Mayfield tweeted out last month that he and his family saw a UFO drop straight out of the sky while they were driving home from dinner. He said this was his actual tweet. Almost 100% EM. Oh, M and I, was that his chick, just saw a UFO drop straight out of the sky on our way home for dinner. We stopped and looked at each other and asked if either of us saw it. Very bright ball of light going straight down out of the sky towards Lake Travis. Anyone else witness this? You see, I used to be the kind of guy that would jump out there whenever there was a disaster like going on. I would call CNN and I'd be like, "Oh, I'm there, man. Put me on the air," and they would do it 90% of the time. And meanwhile, I wasn't there. I was sitting in my living room watching it on TV like everybody else. But it was fun, kind of transporting myself there and being on CNN or anybody else that would put me on. I was bored. I was a kid. What do you want? What do you want? So if this guy ever said anybody else witnessed this, I'd be the one like, "Oh my God, I can't believe it. I saw it landed right in front of me. You should have seen it was big." Bah! He'd be like, "Yeah." So, yeah, there are assholes like me out there that do that. Yeah, that's why you have to kind of raise your eyebrows sometimes and know what the hell you're talking about. Wow, look at that Lexus. Ooh, nice car. We were driving home from dinner, he said Monday. Does he have an accent? I feel like he does. I feel like he's not just because he's in Texas or from Texas. Well, usually people from Texas have that that shit kicker type of twang, that broke back mountain bumpity bump. We were just driving home from Texas from dinner. We were at the steakhouse in Ponderosa. Got that, got that 72-ounce steak, you old thing, all for free. I ate the steak and the fat and everything, and the potatoes. Just driving back home, had the music going, a little Conway twitty, twang, twang. It was one of those things. Emily was looking down at her phone in the passenger seat as normal, bored shitless from my company. I just sit there and look good, trophy wife. I got that $1 million football in the back seat. It was night time, so when you're looking at your phone screen, everything is dark around you only see the light. But it was bright enough where it caught her attention too. Something blinded her phone screen so she couldn't see no more. We kind of just looked at each other. Did you see that? She's like, yeah. You mean the other guy who's texting me about my boobs? Yep. No, that thing up in the sky. Yeah. oh, oh, yeah. Other people in the area confirmed it too. Naturally, that led to plenty of jokes. Really? Even Tom Brady got in on the action. Oh, what did he say? He said, how do you know I've never seen aliens? Colin. Who's Colin? Oh, Colin Cowherd said Joe Montana, Troy Aikman, Terry Bradshaw, Tom Brady have never seen aliens. I would prefer my guys don't talk about it. I don't know. I guess he's one of those sports dudes. Sports catcher. Sports. Whatever. The sports guy. I got nothing in common. I'll tell you right now. This guy you're listening to right here. I have nothing in common with sports people. The only thing I understand about sports is that people gamble on it, which makes it more interesting, which is why they probably watch it to begin with. I really don't get the whole back and forth, up and down, side to side, you know. I mean, if you want to play sports, that's great. It's good exercise. It's fun. But as for sitting there or getting into this guy played, that guy played, and whose helmet's who and what, I could care less. I like to see the UFO abduct them all. That would laugh my ass off. Then I would watch because it's something. Now that's something to bet on. Yeah. All right. So he said, though it wasn't the same UFO he claimed to see, Mayfield's belief was backed up at least partially by the Defense Department. Right. The Defense Department last week so the photos and videos of a triangle-shaped object blinking and moving through the sky are real and were taken by Navy personnel. According to CNN, they said the Pentagon spokesperson Shu Gao, which I read before, also confirmed that there was an aerial thing going on. So basically, I'm going to tell you how they even were able to capture this type of stuff. They have all kinds of new radar and all kinds of new cameras built by Raytheon and groups like that, which are much better, man, faster, and they can track more things and whatever. So I think that it's cool that this guy came out. And look, people busted his balls, you know what I mean? Because it was kind of a funny story, you know? I like the fact that I like real. I like real. You know, the people out there stretching it, I don't like that stuff because it gets in the way of truth and truthiness, you know, as you are trying to make up something. It's different if I call CNN and an airplane crashes in the Hudson River and I call them saying I'm calling from my cell phone on the wing of the plane and I'm scared and cold and they put me right on the air. That's different. That's not hoaxing a UFO. Hey, there's aliens, the Sasquatch, oh, some kind of beast or Jersey Devil. Oh man, there's ghosts everywhere. And there are. It's different. And it's also the military being compelled to say, listen, man, there's some stuff going on here, and you guys better get ready. You guys better get ready. And there's no time to lose your stuff over what's going to happen because we have a big announcement to make, you know? And they'd have like Joe Biden make the announcement, right? Come on, man. I can't go out there telling people they're goddamn aliens. Listen, Mr. President, keep your shit together, freak. Back in my day, we ate moon pies. We didn't talk about going there all the time. Everybody wants to leave. Listen, Mr. Moon Pie, there's aliens coming. What do they want? They want Kamala. They like her. They want to make her leader of their civilization on the planet Uranus. Okay. Who's Kamala? All right, never mind. Never mind. Come on, man. Give me a break. Who said we not? The U.S. military takes UFOs seriously. Why doesn't Silicon Valley or academia? You know why? Because whenever you have one of these daytime jizz heads like a Brett Baer or from Fox or whatever the guy whatever's on CNN during the day. You have these people whenever they say UFO or they refer to something like that, they make a face like somebody just farted right next to their right next to their head, or somewhere they're in seventh grade or sixth grade. Someone says the word vagina, and they're like, so until you get rid of that, there's nothing real is going to happen, and people don't trust the media now anyway, right? So now this is a very interesting story because this goes to show what I was saying earlier. So it says the government wants to know if these unidentified objects pose a military threat. Isn't that funny? Let's just pick that sentence apart for a minute. The government, our government, mighty, powerful, all-knowing, bullshitting government, wants to know if these unidentified objects floating in military compounds, buzzing all kinds of stuff shouldn't be buzzing, are a threat. Well, if you think just by being there, would you think that's a threat? If I walked into Fort Knox right now and wanted to fondle some gold that may or may not be there, would they think I'm a threat? They would shoot me dead. Shoot me dead. I probably wouldn't even get past the first fence. You know what I mean? I get stuck in that barbed wire. They'd shoot me dead. So obviously these things can come and go, and they're thinking like, wow, just because they have better technology than we do, maybe they don't pose a threat. You're being hopeful that a higher intelligence wouldn't treat us like we treat chickens. We, raise them and eat them. Just to let you know. All right. So let me read this to you. In our era of life-changing innovation, there are major breakthroughs that could well come from the serious study of a phenomenon we too often mock: UFOs. The government has reversed its official position of, I don't know why I'm reading it like this, but I feel like it, because publicly ignoring UAPs, unidentified aerial phenomenon, the new trendy name for UFOs. UFPs, that's like the swole of the swell. Unidentified aerial phenomenon. The new trendy name. I love that. It's very artsy. And is starting to tackle the subject openly. But within academia and industry, the topic is still too frequently dismissed with a chuckle accompanied by some trite remark about extraterrestrials. In February, for instance, one of the biggest innovators of this century, Elon Musk, was asked what he thought about the recent Pentagon acknowledgement that Navy pilots have seen objects flying in our airspace used advanced technology we can't identify, let alone understand or explain or reproduce. All right, so let me leave that. Okay, wait a minute, wait. Objects flying in our airspace using advanced technology we can't identify, let alone understand or explain or reproduce. Yeah, these things were futzing around up there, flying, going for 80,000 feet down, sea level, under the sea, 500 knots under the sea, whatever, with no exhaust. Pretty interesting. I'd like something like that for myself, but I don't think Jeep makes anything like that just yet. So, now Musk's answer was, honestly, I think I would know if there were aliens. See, I think I would know. He'd be disappointed. Why would he say that? Because he launches rockets? I think I would know. That's really, really obnoxious. But for the business that he's in, businesses, he should look for that advanced technology, right? He should keep his mind open and not closed. Nikola Tesla, Einstein, all these people had open minds, right? They were scientists, inventors, all kinds. All of them. All right. Let's see. Honestly, this response could have come from a number of prominent scientists or industry figures. Musk's non answer was revealing because it suggested that he wasn't aware or interested in basic unclassified facts about military sightings of UFOs, or that the government is looking into the possibilities that they are made from advanced technology that our scientists can't yet figure out. In June, a new task force championed by Senator Marco Rubio, a Republican from Florida, must submit an unclassified report on unidentified aerial phenomenon in Congress. It comes as several erstwhile officials, including former Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid and two former CIA directors, have called for a more rigorous look at these sightings. You see, and that, keep in mind, these are the same people that have objects, they have things, they've collected things over the years. They have a whole warehouses full of stuff. And they're like babe in the woods. Well, we should definitely investigate this and get people out there because, you know, I think we should. Like, let's get people out there. We need to get this unclassified report on unidentified aerial phenomena to Congress. They need to have it right away to have a more rigorous look at these things. The most famous example, the one Musk was asked about, occurred when Navy pilots reported a craft resembling a Tic Tac and was moving unlike anything seen in the U.S. arsenal. They said it wasn't behaving by the normal laws of physics. The craft's movements, however, typical of both military and civilian UFO reports, descending from 80,000 feet down to 20,000 feet in an instant, stopping in midair and reversing direction without inertial effects, exceeding the speed of sound while without generating a sonic boom, and submerging into the ocean without making a splash and going 500 knots under the water. After the New York Times and Washington Post reported in 2017, along with the military's secret UFO tracking program, the Pentagon publicly acknowledged last year that the leaked video stories were authentic. I loved it too. I love listening to those pilots chase this thing. These guys were talking to each other, man. They were just like in awe of the movements of this. And these are Top Gun pilots. These are the best of the best. You don't get better than this. Yeah. And they're just like kids. Like, wow, look at that, man. Oh. Now, recently retired national security officials are speaking out in the run-up to the task force. And of course, you have a lot of people that have spoken out. You have astronauts, all kinds of people, right? But now you have these recently retired national security officials, and they all sign a non-disclosure agreement. So obviously, they're recently retired, and there's really, even though you're recently retired, you're in until you're dead, basically. It's like the mafia. So, in the run up to the task force's report in June, John Ratcliffe, a former director of national intelligence, told Fox News last month that there were a lot more sightings that have been made public. Similarly, James Woolsey, former director of CIA, said in a podcast this month that he was taking the subject seriously and did a successor at the CIA. John Brennan. John Brennan's a freak. The Pentagon, see, I don't trust John Brennan. People like that. But the Pentagon hasn't offered an official explanation for the UAPs, like the Tic Tac crap, calling them unidentified. The official explanation is that they're unidentified. My official explanation is, no, leave me alone. I don't know. It's like a point some old man as spokesman. What do you want now? Sir, can you tell us about the craft? I don't want the craft. No one said craft. Where did you get that from? The Tic Tac craft. Tic Tacs. I like them. Like those little orange ones. Fruit flavor. That's it. That's what you need. Is just you don't need to deny anything. You just need to point some senile bastard up there, like, "Our, what do you want now, sir?" Hmm. All right, Lou Elizondo, who ran the secret Pentagon UFO tracking unit, has publicly ruled out the theory that the Tic Tac craft came from the U.S. arsenal. So here's this guy admitting we have, of course, advanced weapons and things that are pretty amazing, but even the stuff we have isn't this. Right? The Tic Tac craft came from who knows? It just came from up there and down there and went over there and woohoo! By the way, they were tracking these things. It wasn't just one; it was several, and they were tracking them. In fact, they were right over the Nimitz, for quite some time. It looks like they are trying to make contact in some way, not through some crab circle. Look, look at the design. They're trying to talk to us. I mean, I don't get into any of that. I do get into the fact that there is a cosmic equation of, just like there are humans and there are worms. The worms don't understand us. We don't understand the worms. There's no communication going on in between. The only thing you could do is kind of a vibration type of thing, or observe each other until there's some kind of thing. But if you are advanced life, there's no reason to deal with humans, especially after the way humans act and react, unless this is just like a zoo or some kind of big fish bowl, and they're developing or having to do with something with DNA or whatever. I don't know, man. There's a lot of theories out there. We don't even have time need to scratch the surface, But why would you need to talk to humans? I mean, humans act like an infectious disease. People are aware of COVID. They're scared of COVID. Humans are much more dangerous. Humans have killed way more than COVID, and can do way more damage out there in the universe, right? So that's my dim view. Until people can evolve and come up to a certain level of love and kindness, I don't think that humans are going to have contact with much of anything unless the contact with something makes humanity move into a certain direction, right? As a whole, right? And nobody ever said aliens are friendly. I'm going to throw that out there. But this guy's, all these people are, according to Brennan, some of the phenomenon we're seeing could involve some type of activity that some might say constitutes a different form of life. You mean beyond Republican and Democrat? Is that what that is? U.S. Navy pilots who have actually seen the Tic Tac craft are even more direct. You think Tic Tac loves that, like the candy maker? Like, yeah, they should come out with like Tic Tac craft and cash in on it, man. Alien Tic Tacs. Just saying. I'm a marketing genius, always thinking about marketing, right? All right. Let's see. Brennan says that this is something not from this earth. Really? So while it's good that the government is finally taking UFOs more seriously, its job is primarily to figure out whether they represent a military threat. But these unidentified objects may also represent an opportunity to advance our science and technology significantly. If our other two pillars of innovation, academia and industry, are willing to catch up with us, sure. Yeah. If there's money involved, of course they will. Of course they will. If there's money to lose, then no. Nikola Tesla's idea of giving people free electricity through the air and just having like an antenna on your house. What a great thing. Have electricity anywhere, safe. People can just use it, whatever. And then no wires, none of that. But you don't cash in on it, man. There was no way for them to cash in. There was no way for them to tag your wallet, right? So, unfortunately, when scientists are asked about UFOs, they generally laugh off the subject. The well-known astrophysicist Neil deGrasse Tyson, for one, said he would only take the idea seriously when aliens send him a dinner invite. See, that's creepy, man. That's like maybe they're gonna eat him, man. I just had to throw that out there. I'm sorry. I mean, as a fan of horror and mystery horror and horror mystery, I just figured don't include aliens in eating. I don't know until you know what they're all about. Inviting for dinner, that could be dangerous. We do have cannibals on this planet. You know that, right? It's not so far out there. George Washington ate people. Okay? Valley Forge, man. The battle at Valley Forge. People died. Soldiers died. These guys ran out of food. They were starving to death. Someone got the idea to cook these soldiers and eat them. It's cannibalism. Washington said he was developing a taste for it. His wife slept one eye open from that moment on, man. But really, and this is in the history books. It's not, maybe they don't teach you in elementary school, but it's in the history books. It's actually part of the Bon Appetit section of ancient history. Bon Appetit. Yeah. Where do you think that whole fava bean thing came from? Washington, man. All right. So why do leading scientists show such a profound lack of curiosity in a subject that might redefine not just their fields, but also all of science? It could lead to a new understanding of our place in the universe and new advances in materials science. Biology, quantum physics, cosmology, social science, all of it. Facebook too. Part of the problem likely stems from the academic version of the old IBM rule in industry that no one ever gets fired for buying IBM. There's your marketing for you. Similarly, no professor ever gets fired for mocking UFOs. The case of Harvard Medical School's John Mack, though, shows the dangers if you don't. Thankfully, small cracks are appearing in academia's wall of mockery. Let's see. Avi Loeb, chief astronomer at Harvard University, was willing to say in his new book, Extraterrestrials, that he thinks that the Awamama, the first, I love that, Japanese food restaurant, Awamama, steamed, little sprinkle of salt. The first object we have spotted in the night sky, whose origin is definitely from outside of the solar system, was most likely a technological artifact from long vanished alien civilization. We're talking about that big poop that was floating through the sky. You know what? They're like that big long poop, the big long thin rock, and they're like, it's aliens. It's not aliens. Listen, man, if that's aliens and a big giant poop floating through the sky, I don't want anything to do with it. All right? That's not the kind of aliens I want to mess with. I want something a little nicer, kinder, gentler, softer. I don't know, something I can learn something from. You know what I mean? There are certain people you look at, you realize you can't learn anything from them. And Flavor Flav, man. He's a dude. You look at that guy, you can't learn anything from that dude. There are people, I'm not saying, you just think, there are people out there you just can't learn anything from. Like aliens in a big giant poop floating through space. All right. So most academics, though, still invoke some version of Musk's non-argument. If aliens were here, we would know. But the government is saying that it does know. These craft exist. My purpose today is not to convince you of the evidence, but to encourage academics and industry leaders to move beyond their biases into an open minded investigation to find out who, what, when, what is it that created them, and how do they work? And most of all, how can we make a buck off of it? I'm not naive enough to assume that academics will study UFOs just to further human knowledge. But to point out the obvious, in the long term, there could be multiple Nobel Prizes, not to mention new laws of physics. Money in your pockets for those who are willing to dive in and risk ridicule in the short term. Really, ridicule. Trying to open up the door, trying to find what the future holds for us, or even the past, right? So, scientists in Europe who dismissed the idea of rocks falling out of the sky eventually opened their minds enough to discover meteorites, ending up with a more complex understanding of the universe. The results this time could lead to new kinds of transportation devices capable of submerging into the ocean and into the air, transporting cargo and passengers across the globe in minutes, as well as ferrying humans safely beyond the planet Earth. Get people off this rock. Similar rewards. And you know what? Why bother? Do you really need to get somewhere faster? I like to enjoy the ride, man. You know? You want to just get to the end. Or I want to take my time getting there and see stuff. Maybe stop, get a bite to eat, take some pictures, man. So similar rewards await industry risk takers as well, especially innovators in Silicon Valley who are interested in speculative topics such as the singularity and a simulation hypothesis. So to some extent, their apathy is the predictable spillover effect from the ivory tower. Venture capital firms aren't going to invest in something that academics haven't stamped as viable technology. So it's a hierarchy, right? But peer pressure may also be at work here too. Businessman Joe Firmage, for instance, was once the toast of the valley, only to resign so as not to hurt his company's reputation after speaking of his interest in UFOs and being skewered as fox molder of Silicon Valley in the press. So you know what? It's been a culture of take a tall glass of shut the F up when it comes to UFOs or anything paranormal. I mean, these guys, you want to, UFOs at least you can mention these days, but like Sasquatch, people look at you like you're an idiot. You're an idiot. You're an idiot. Really? So then what was this thing that flew past the SpaceX? Was it junk? Did they have a determination? Right? Elon Musk says, I don't believe in aliens, and all of a sudden there's a thing. So live video caught the intense moment that astronauts aboard the NASA Crew 2 mission were warned about a possible collision with an unidentified object. So for awareness, they have identified the late-breaking possibility, close miss to the Dragon SpaceX capsule, right? As such, we do need you to immediately proceed with suit, put the so the girls are, put your suits on, the sun's gonna come kill you. That's the thing you want to hear. And I see this thing going like, woohoo! I don't know what it is. Looks like a little silver disc. So the guys the guys are up there like, what? Copy, Sarah. You want us in the suit for a possible close call? That's what you want to hear as an astronaut, Crew 2 astronaut Thomas Pimpsquit of the European Space Agency said. The warning came roughly at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time Friday as the crew was preparing to sleep inside. You're getting ready to go to bed. And all of a sudden, about 10 minutes later, pilot Megan MacArthur tells Gills and two others that get suited and get sealed. Get seated now. The remaining two are getting their suits on now. Moments later, Gills notified the crew that we believe the object is further away than anticipated, a lower risk, like 19 miles away. But 19 miles away up in space is pretty damn close. You know what I mean? And they still haven't said what it was. They said that it was never a threat. It just looked like a disc flying right past it. It's funny that Elon Musk says some stuff and about aliens, and they're like, woohoo. I don't know. It's just funny. Just funny. So, and speaking about big feet, big feet Sasquatches. How's that? There's a Bigfoot conference that's going to go international, right? The Bigfoot Museum ended their Bigfoot conference on Saturday in Hastings with a big announcement. Organizers revealed that they will be going international next year. So they will partner with the hominology of the forest people. Researchers from Russia and surrounding countries will come to the conference to bring their expertise. This is a very powerful thing for us, Bigfoot conference organizer Ken Collins said. We think that we are a first, and they are so proud to have these guys with us. Organizers say they took a hit in participation because of COVID-19 this year, but they expect it will return and become bigger and better as they go international. And of course, the big story in New Orleans was that there was some guy dressed in a Sasquatch suit going around stabbing people, man. How do they know it wasn't a Bigfoot? You know, they said it was Chewbacca, a Chewbacca suit. When cartoon characters attack, man, I know. Yeah, I know he's not a cartoon character. He is a cartoon character. You know, as a son of New York City, somebody who's used to seeing frequent attacks from the likes of Tigger the Tiger, Spider-Man, Winnie the Pooh. You know what I mean? Every once in a while, and I had planned this event. You know, there was a early morning news show that had a big window behind them, right? And you can walk up on the street behind him and kind of gawk in there like an idiot. You know, you're from buttfuck Idaho and you're representing, right? And then I was trying to get my friend. I wanted to dress up as Winnie the Pooh. I wanted him to dress up as Tigger the Tiger, right? And I'm like, why don't we kind of meet each other there from different directions and start waving at people inside and start pushing each other around and really have a knockdown, drag out brawl of cartoon character against cartoon character, man. You know what I mean? Then you have like something like Eeyore come and break it up. You guys, you know what I mean? I never got together with someone to do that, man. I never found someone with the stones to join me. Joining me in my quest. So now I'm too old and lazy to do it. So anyway, this is the Paranormal News. I'll see you guys next week on this show. Hope you learned something. Maybe you did. Maybe you had a laugh. Maybe you didn't. I don't know. I don't care. I'll see you guys next week on United Public Radio Network. Of course I care. On UPRNTalkRadio.com, 107.5 New Orleans, 104.7 in Pass Christian. All over the world. Paranormal News.